tragedies and that kind of stuff, because I just read it in the paper just today that this of the lost his mother through the fire in Jennings, that he has to do some sort of corrective surgeries and whatever and so forth. How can he mitigate against these things?
There are different factors, I believe, that affect people and relate to the fires. One, sometimes it may be electrical fire, which, you know, there's no control over. But then there's a case where sometimes, because you don't have electricity, you have to use the candle. Yeah. Sometimes some people use the mosquito coil, you know, those old,
yeah, of
and
course, yes.
you drop asleep in the night sometime and you leave them, you know, and the flambeau, the lamps, etc. These things, you know, once you're not paying keen attention to them, you know, they can just get out of hand. You may touch them and don't even know, and hit them in a place where the fire can start.
It's always so tragic that you're having young ones succumb to these sort of situations. But I guess that things will always happen. You just have to try to mitigate against some of the circumstances. Also, you know, time of absence, I should say. I read in the papers in Guyana that there was this big jail break. They burned on the jail in Demerara.
Yeah.
Or in Georgetown.
Yeah, Georgetown. In Demerara. Yeah, Georgetown, in Demerara. Yes. My good friend Royston Adams.
Yes.
Yeah, still prison officer. He is keeping me abreast with everything that is happening, because from time to time he sends me those little clips.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know, I'm updated with what is going on, and I know that they have recovered some of them, and some of them were taken to the morgue.
Justified homicide?
I am not sure. But you know, some people, when they're out, they're armed and dangerous. So they have this fireworks taking place.
But isn't that a sort of a excuse or a justification to go after these people that are alive? I mean, this is not a Western movie. You remember you used to have these Western movies that you have these clips. One the dead are alive. You know, I find in most instances there's always that little addendum, armed and dangerous. You know, and sometimes you wonder, you know, what's involved in all of this. I like the American system. What I like about it, there can be justified with homicide, but it has to be an investigation to prove that. In the line of duties, once you exchange firearm and somebody is dead, it is an investigation. That person who pulled that trigger is sent on administrative leave pending the outcome of the investigation. He might be exonerated, fine. You know, but I find that in our instances, we don't do these things. And I don't think that it is correct. You know, for me, a life is a life is a life. Okay? And one is a life taken by law enforcement or whoever. There should be an audit investigation, and not by the same body. It has to be an external body, not somebody who's supposed to see.
Yeah, I think so, but the law enforcement, I believe most times what they do before they carry out any such activities, they ask the people to surrender themselves. And I wonder why they don't want to surrender, you know, willingly sometimes. Because if you do not surrender, once the warning is out to surrender, and you refuse, then whatever the consequences are, then you have to stand it. And it's sad that, you know, persons will escape, I don't know, for different reasons. Some people escape because they had a stash somewhere and they want to get it, to put it in the hands of the family. Sometimes they hide a stash, or sometimes, they have something somewhere. When you listen to inmates, you hear all these strange stories, Bishop. Sometimes they have some unfinished business to do, and they escape so that, they can return those things to others for safekeeping, etc. I remembered one time, one young man escaped from Her Majesty's prison. And why did he escape? He escaped because he was caught in homosexual activities.
Wow.
And so he was so ashamed because he was caught openly that...
This is in the prison.
And he jumped and he ran away.
Wow.
But eventually he passed away a few years ago. And so, but, different things cause people to escape, And so I believe that once they're given a warning to surrender themselves, then they should.
Yeah, I accept that, but having said that, I think that in trying to recover these people, the aim should not be shoot to kill. Right? I think you have to make the person so that at least he is injured or whatever, fine. But to go with the objective, once I see him, I'm going to take him out. Because sometimes people go with this preconceived, that, they go with these preconceived ideas. We hear these things. We hear them. This is a small country. We hear these things. But anyway, I think we need to do a better job in these situations. Right? Set up the investigations by, outside forces, and let the buck stop where it ends. But anyway, all right, we can look at leadership. What is political leadership or biblical leadership? But the fact that leadership is leadership anywhere, right? And secular leadership has its genesis in biblical leadership.
Yes, of course.
Right? A lot of these kind of phrases that we have in principles of business are all biblical oriented because it's there, and that's what makes the Bible so unique. Because just about every discipline that you can think of has its roots. Whether it's science, whether it's a surgery, whatever it is, medicine, whatever it is, it has its genesis in Genesis.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what makes the Bible so unique. So we're going to think about leadership. Now, in terms of secular leadership, and let's say political leadership, the Bible calls these people ministers of God.
Yeah.
So as ministers, it's our service, right? It's our service.
Yeah.
But what we shall obtain today is far from that. Can you comment then?
Yeah, I'd like to refer that to Romans chapter 13.
Yeah.
Yes, so in case you're checking to see where that is in Romans chapter 13, where the Lord refers to political leaders or leadership of a nation as ministers of God. They're servants of God. And they're expected by God to treat people in a manner in which God will be pleased, especially people like the poor and the needy, the suffering people. God is expecting that leaders will show some amount of grace and mercy and, be able to provide a way in which, or a way by which they can earn a living and survive and, be happy. Sure.
Yeah, I want us to look at the book of Exodus.
Yeah.
Exodus, because Exodus features perhaps the greatest prophet outside of Christ, perhaps the greatest leader outside of Christ, and a man called Moses. And we know that the word Moses means drawn out of water. You know, Moses is a very interesting character. Very, very interesting. Yes, Moses had his moments of indecision, that's what you would call it that. At times he angered because, but when you think of having the responsibility of leading millions,
Yeah.
you know, out of Egypt, out of bondage, that was no mean task. You know, these people were accustomed to a certain way of life for almost 130 years. They're there, and here was Moses. But let's look at some background to Moses. First of all, we know that Moses was called of God.
Yeah.
Moses was called of God.
That's the first thing.
That is
That's the first thing.
That's the first thing. Wasn't called of man,
Called of God.
right? He was called by God. God was the genesis of making Moses,
Yeah.
right? When you look at, let's look at chapter 3 in Exodus chapter 3, right? And let's pick up from the first chapter. Now Moses kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the backside of the desert, and came to the mountain of God, even to Horeb. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in a flame of fire, out of the midst of the bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed. And Moses said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, why the bush is not burned. And when the Lord saw that he turned aside to